back, and it's 5 days away, a 5-star season of entertainment, high-energy sports, and a golden cup of joy to make you smile. This is Ndtv-Hindu's World Cup 2011 special. Well, the Indian cricket team, or the men in blue, have arrived in Chennai to take on the Kiwis in the second warm-up game being played right here in Chennai at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium on the 16th of this month. They are expected to be in high spirits after the victory over the mighty Aussies. They would be hoping to continue with the positive momentum against the Kiwis as well. Now, we are just 5 days away from the Cricket World Cup and the excitement is unbelievable. So is all of that World Cup mania. If it has tempted you enough, there is a surprise for you, our viewers. But for that, you'll just have to do something as simple as write us a line of a cheer or perhaps a wacky quip. But it has to be funny or crazy. So let your creative juices flow and start mailing us your lines right away to feedback@ndtv-hindu.com. Or if an idea strikes you right away, you can SMS us at 9962504179. This could be your ticket to the wicket. Well, moving ahead, while the craze for cricket has now reached a new high, have you ever heard of being able to gobble down a cricket ball or perhaps bite into a ball or maybe even nibble off a World Cup? Well, here's your chance to play a witness to just that chocolat, again in a pretty little French colony called Pondicherry. Warning you, again, you'll need to feast your eyes for this one. Take a look.
This little shop on Mission Street, Pondicherry, features not just any goodie in the world, but one that will tickle up any cricket lover alike. It's Chocolat's very own life-size chocolate World Cup that threw in a cricket kit too.
This, we believe, is the first of its kind in the world. And I love cricket, and I genuinely hope this will be a different experience for everybody who sees this. And the winning team, which I hope is going to be the Indian team, will be getting this. We'll look forward to taking this across to the winning team.
Well, 32.8 kilograms of chocolate should be sufficient enough to tickle the taste buds of an entire cricket team. A feat that took 183 hours to complete over 28 days. Certainly a first of its kind.
Now, the Grand Aero India Air Show has concluded. Amongst the military and civil aviation aircrafts from across the world that were on display was this Weatherbird, a C-130J Hercules, a plane whose mission has been to fly into the eye of the storm. But in India, the military version of this plane has just been inducted into the Indian Air Force, mainly to transport special forces behind enemy lines. Now, NDTV's Vasanthi Hariprakash got to check out this this new machine and tells us how it feels to be inside the Hercules. Take a look.
Meet the aircraft that can hunt down a hurricane. We're not flying into a real storm mission, but the cockpit is a good place to check how the Hercules actually works in one. Two pilots fly into the kind of dangerous weather that pilots are usually asked to avoid.
We get temperature, pressure, wind speed, and we have a special sensor that gets wind speed right on the ocean surface. And we also have an instrument that we drop in the hurricane, and that records information in the atmosphere vertically inside the eye of the storm.
An altitude of 10,000 feet may not be much by an aircraft standards, but when you're inside a Weatherbird WC-130J Hercules as we are in, it can feel slightly rumbly. The mission of this plane is to go right into the eye of the storm, a hurricane, and receive critical data. Data that helps evaluate the criticality, the danger, and evacuate civilians if need be.
The aircraft itself is very flexible, as you have seen today. It can be configured very rapidly from hurricane hunting roles to something that is a disaster management evacuation role or medical evacuation role.
Buying the Weatherbird Hercules would be a simple decision for India. The more complex and controversial call will be when India decides who among the 6 strong aerospace contenders will back the $10 billion deal to supply 126 fighter jets to the Indian Air Force. And that could create a bigger political storm, the kinds that hurricane hunters will be powerless against. With camera person Govind, Vasanthi Hariprakash on board the Hercules for NDTV.
Beautiful machines those. Nevertheless, let's moving ahead. Many of us begin to complain the minute things go even slightly wrong. But what if there were major hurdles confronting us? How strong can one be? And how will one be able to overcome such hindrances? Well, Advocate Venkata Krishnan, a visually challenged advocate, has been defying those odds for years now. Let's take a look at his inspiring story.
Advocate Venkata Krishnan, a visually challenged lawyer, has managed to shine in his profession. Currently practicing in High Court, it has taken Venkata Krishnan's immense grit, perseverance and patience to reach where he has.
This is a very challenging and very different profession. Visually challenged, I have to always compete with the normal people. To overcome all these dejections, failures and discouragements, we must be determined enough to achieve something new always. What I expect from the public is not their sympathy, but their understanding.
A postgraduate in law from the Madras University, Venkata Krishnan suffers from retinitis pigmentosa, a type of progressive retinal dystrophy. Until the age of 20, he used braille and cassettes for learning, and through it all, his father stood by him.
I was thinking that he should become a lecturer or a professor in a college. He said, no, I want to take this profession and prove that a visually challenged person is capable of arguing the cases and winning the cases, and he has done it.
நிறைய ஜட்ஜஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. மற்ற விஷுவலி சேலஞ்சை விட மற்ற நார்மல் அட்வொகேட்டை விட வந்து ஜட்ஜஸ்க்கு தேவையான பாயிண்ட்ஸை ப்ரிஸ்கிரிப்டாக அதர் சைடெலாம் வந்து ரொம்ப அவங்களே கூட அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ணிட்டு போகிறாங்க. பரவாயில்ல, இந்த அளவுக்கு லா எவிடன்ஸு எல்லாமே வந்து இந்த அளவுக்கு ஞாபகம் வச்சுருக்கிறீங்க.
Venkata Krishnan's colleagues and friends who have watched him and known him for years almost don't realize that he is blind.
He is confident that his disability will not impede his future. People like Venkata Krishnan gives us the courage to pursue our own dreams. In Chennai, Marin James for Ndtv-Hindu.
Well, that's all we have time for. Next up, we bring you Ungal Seidi with Saudamani. Keep watching.